Tonight's story is a gentle journey into a quiet night, where your thoughts slowly begin to settle, and nothing is required of you. You don't need to follow every thought tonight. Just listen and allow yourself to rest. There is a moment, so small, you might almost miss it. A quiet pause that wasn't there before. Not loud, not sudden. Just a gentle shift in the way everything feels. As if the day has finally stepped back, leaving you here in a space that asks nothing from you. You don't need to do anything. You don't need to finish anything. You don't need to carry anything forward. You are simply here, and that is enough. The room feels calm, softly lit. Like it understands yet, this moment is different. The air is still, not empty, but settled. Like it has found its place for the night. And you begin to notice your breathing, not because you try, but because everything else has grown quiet and auto. Let you feel it. In and out, slow, steady. Each breathantly arriving without effort, and leaving just as softly. You don't need to change it. You don't need to follow it. It continues on its own, like a quiet rhythm that has always been there, waiting for you to notice. Maybe you have felt this before. That small moment when everything pauses, when the noise of the day fades just enough for something soft there to take its place. And tonight, that moment has found you again. You notice how your body feels, not tense, not heavy, just resting, as if it has been waiting for this exact momento let go. Your shoulders loosen slightly, your hands rest more easily. Even your face softens without you realizing. Nothing forced, nothing guided, just natural. And in that quiet, your thoughts begin to appear, but not in the way they did before, not rushing, not overlapping, just one at a time, soft, distant, like they are unsure if they should stay or pass. You notice one of them, something small, a leftover piece of the day. It lingers for a moment, not asking to be solved, just present. And instead of following it, you simply let it be. You don't push it away. You don't hold on to it. You just allow it to exist for a moment. And then, slowly, it begins to fade. Not disappearing completely, just softening, like it has lost its need to stay. Another thought comes just as gently, but it feels lighter, less defined, as if it knows it doesn't need to be held. And you remain here, watching without effort, not following, not resisting, just noticing. And as you do, something begins to change, not suddenly, not clearly, just quietly. The space between your thoughts begins to grow. A thought, then a pause, another thought, then a longer pause. And those pauses, they feel important. They feel like rest, like small pockets of quiet where nothing exists except calm. Your breathing continues, in and out, steady, matching the rhythm of those quiet spaces. And with each breath, those spaces expand, becoming softer, more open, more restful. You might notice how easy it feels to stay here, to not rush forward, to not look back, to simply remaining this moment. This quiet pause that has gently arrived, and somewhere in that stillness, a small feeling appears. Not a thought exactly, not a memory, just a sense of something familiar, something you almost recognize. But not completely, it stays for a moment. Soft, quiet, like it belongs here. And you don't try to understand it, you don't try to name it. You simply let it be, and in that allowing, it becomes lighter, less defined, until it is just part of the calm around you. Your body settles further, your breathing slows slightly, and everything feels a little more still, a little more at ease, as if you have stepped into a place where nothing needs to be done, nothing needs to be carried. Only this quiet moment remains, this gentle pause. That has been waiting for y'all along. And as you stay here, just a little longer, you begin to feel it more deeply. This calm, this stillness, this simple, quiet rest. And you allow yourself to settle into it, without effort, without thought. Just being, just breathing, just pausing. As the night slowly wraps itself around you, holding this moment gently so you can remain here a little longer in this quiet, peaceful pause where your mind begins to rest, softly, naturally, without needing to try at all. The quiet from before I still with you, unchanged, steady, like it has gently settled into its place for the night. And within that quiet, your thoughts begin to return, not suddenly, not all at once, just slowly like soft shapes forming in the distance. Barely noticeable at first, then a little clearer, but never sharp, never demanding. You notice one of them, a simple thought, something small from earlier in the day. It comes forward gently, as if it is unsure whether it should stay. And instead of following it, you simply allow it to be there. You don't need to solve it. You don't need to understand it. You just notice it, and as you do, it begins to soften, its edges less clear, its presence lighter, until it feels more like a quiet feeling than a thought, until it fought. And then, just as gently, it begins to drift away. Not pushed, not removed, just released. Another thought follows, but this one is even softer, less defined. Like it is already in its way out. You notice how different this feels. How your thoughts no longer rush in, no longer overlap. Asterisk no longer ask to be held or followed. They simply arrive and leave, one by one, like distant footsteps they'd before they ever reach you. Your breathing continues, in and out, slow, steady. Each breath creating a little more space between you and those thoughts. And in that space, there is calm, simple, easy calm. You might notice how your mind feels now, not empty, but quiet, like a room where everything has been gently placed in its proper place. Nothing scattered, nothing out of order, just stillness. And within that stillness, your thoughts continue to soften, one by one, becoming lighter, less important, less present, until they no longer feel like something you need to follow at all. Maybe you have felt this before, that moment when your mind finally begins to slow, when the thoughts that once felt loud come quiet and out of rest, and tonight, that moment is unfolding gently, right here. You notice another small detail, the way your thoughts no longer hold their shape. They don't stay long in auto, become clear. They appear, then soften, then fade, like soft clouds drifting across a quiet sky. And you remain here, watching them pass without effort, without intention, just allowing, and in that allowing, your mind begins to feel even lighter, as if something has been gently lifted, not removed, just eased, and that easing continues. Slowly, naturally, with each passing moment, you notice how your body responds, how everything feels more settled, more relaxed, your shoulders loose, your hands still, your breathing steady. And with each breath, your thoughts drift a little further away. Not gone, just quieter, like they are moving into the distance, where they no longer need your attention. And somewhere within that quiet, a small familiar feeling appears. The same gentle presence you noticed before. Not a thought, not a memory, just a soft awareness. Something that feels known without needing to be understood. It stays for a moment, quietly, as if it belongs here, and you allow it to remain, without reaching for it, without trying to hold it. And slowly, it begins to soften too, becoming lighter, less defined, until it blends into the calm around you. And now, there is even more space, more quiet, more stillness. Your thoughts have slowed to a gentle rhythm, peering only now and then, and even then, they don't stay long. They pass through like soft whispers that fade before they can be heard clearly. And you remain here, steady, calm, at ease, not following, not holding, just resting as your mind continues to settle, softly, naturally into a quieter, more peaceful state, where thoughts no longer lead, and you no longer need to follow them, only to let them soften and drift away, one by one, into the gentle quiet of the night. Within the quiet, something begins to take shape. Asterisk, not clearly, not all at once, just a soft sense of a place. Somewhere calm, somewhere gentle. It doesn't appear suddenly. It slowly forms, like a memory you are not trying to remember. And yet, it feels familiar, as if you have known it for a very long time. Even if you cannot say how, you don't try to see it clearly. You don't need details. You simply allow the feeling of it to settle around you. And that feeling, it is enough. Your breathing continues, in and out, slow, steady. Each breath making that place feel a little more present. Not closer, just clear in its quiet way. You might notice how calm it feels there, how nothing moves quickly, how nothing feels urgent. It is a place that does not rush, a place that simply exists. And in that stillness, you begin to feel at ease, as if you belong there, as if it has always been waiting for you to return. Maybe you have felt this before, the quiet recognition of something that feels like home, even if you cannot explain it, even if you cannot remember ever being there. And tonight, that feeling is enough to guide you. You notice small hints now, not full details, just gentle impressions. A soft light, a calm space, a sense of being held within something peaceful. Nothing sharp, nothing defined, just enough to feel safe. And that safety begins to settle within you. Your shoulders soften further, your hands rest more easily, your body sinking a little deeper into stillness, and your thoughts, they remain quiet, appearing only faintly and fading even more quickly, as if they know thee do not belong here. This place is not for thinking, it is for resting, and you allow yourself to remain within it, without effort, without intention, just being there, just feeling it, and as you do, the place becomes a little more steady, not clearer, just more present. Like a calm background that does not change, you might notice how time feels different here. Slower, softer, as if it is no longer something you need to follow. Moments pass without needing to be counted, without needing to be noticed, and you remain steady, calm, at ease. Within this quiet space, and somewhere within it, that same gentle feeling returns, the one that has been with you since the beginning of the night. But now, it feels more settled, more at peace, like it has found where it belongs, and you don't question it. You don't follow it. You simply let it remain. Just as everything else remains soft, still, undisturbed. Your breathing continues in and out, each breath blending into the next, until it feels like part of the place itself, as if you are no longer separate from this quiet space, but gently within it, resting, held, completely at ease. And as you stay here, that feeling of familiarity gains, not in detail, but in comfort, like something you trust without needing to understand. And that trust, it allows you to relax even further, to let go of anything that remains, any small thoughts, any quiet questions, all of them fading into the distance until there is nothing left to follow, nothing left to notice, only this place, this quiet, this calm presenteth that surrounds you and holds you gently, and you remain here, not thinking, not wondering, just resting, as the night continues to deepen, and this familiar place becomes softer still, blending into the stillness around you until it is no longer something you observe, but something you feel completely, quietly. As you drift a little deeper into rest dot, you become aware of a window, not suddenly, just gently, as if it has always been there, quietly waiting for you to notice. It sits nearby, still calm, framed by the same soft light that fills the room. And beyond it, the night stretches out in a quiet, peaceful way. You don't move toward it. You don't need to. You simply feel its presence. The way it connects this calm spacito, the quiet world outside. And as you notice it, the outside begins to take shape. Not sharply, not in detail, just gently. Like a soft picture forming in the distance. A still world resting unchanging. You might sense a quiet street, empty, peaceful, with soft light resting along its edges. Not bright, not harsh, just enough to make the night feel safe. And within that stillness, nothing moves, no footsteps, no voices, only calm. A quiet that feels completion its own. You notice how the world outside it does not ask anything from you. It continues with needing your attention. Without needing your thoughts, it simply exists softly. And that simplicity feels comforting. Your breathing continues, in and out, slow, steady. matching the calm rhythm of that still world. And with each breath, everything feels a little more distant. Not gone, just quieter, like the outside eyes gently stepping back to give you space. You notice a small detail, a faint glow from somewhere far away. Perhaps a light left on in a distant room, or a street light standing quietly at the edge of the road. It doesn't matter which, it only matters that it is there. Soft, steady, and not alone, there is something peaceful about knowing the world continues, even in its quietest moments, and yet you are not part of its movement now. You are here, in this calm space, separate from anything that might ask something of you. You might notice how easy it feels to simply observe, to let the outside remain just as it is, without needing to focus, without needing to follow. And in that gentle observation, your mind grows quieter still, your thoughts softer, less frequent, less clear, as if they are fading into the same stillness that fills the night outside. And somewhere within that quiet, a small familiar feeling returns. Soft, almost unnoticeable, like something you have felt before, but never needed to understand. It stays for a moment, just long enough to be noticed, then begins to soften, becoming part of the calm around you. Your body settles deeper, your shoulders at ease, your hands resting quietly, your breathing slow and natural, and everything feels a little more distant now. The outside world, your thoughts, even the sense of time, all moving further away, until there is only this quiet awareness, this gentle connection between you and the stillness around you. You don't need to look outside. You don't need to see clearly. It is enough to know that it is there, quiet, resting, just like you. And as you remain here, the window itself begins to feel softer, less defined, like it is no longer a boundary, but simply part of the calm space you are in. The inside and the outside no longer feel separate. They blend together in a quiet, natural way, everything softened, everything at rest. And you are part of that stillness, not observing it, not thinking about it, just within it, resting gently. Your breathing continues, in and out, steady, like a quiet rhythm that carries you further into calm. And with each breath, everything becomes a little more still, a little more peaceful, until there is nothing left to notice, nothing left to follow, only this soft, steady quiet, this still world that asks nothing from you. And you remain here, held within it, calm, at ease. As the night continues to deepen, and the quiet grows softer still, gently carrying you forward into a rest dot within the quiet, a path begins to appear, not suddenly, just a soft sense of something stretching forward, gentle, unhurried, as if it has always been there, waiting quietly for you to notice. You don't step onto it. You don't need to. You simply feel it. A calm direction, without urgency, without expectation. Just a quiet presence that exists without asking anything from you. It feels familiar, not because you remember it clearly, but because it carries a sense of ease. The kind of ease that doesn't need to be explained. Maybe you have felt this before. The quiet sense of a path that doesn't need to lead anywhere. A place where walking is not about arriving, but simply about being. And tonight, that feeling returns. Softly, you notice how steady this path feels. Not rough, not uncertain, just smoothing its quiet way. Like it has always known how to hold you gently, without effort, without direction. And as you remain here, you begin to sense its rhythm. Not in movement, but in presence. A quiet continuity. Like something that does not begin and does not end. It simply continues, softly, and that continuity begins to settle within you. Your breathing matches it, in and out, slow, steady. Like the gentle flow of something that never rushes. And with each breath, that sense of the path becomes more present. Not clearer, just more felt. As if you are already part of it, even without moving. Even without stepping forward, you might notice how easy it feels to stay here. To not ask where it leads, to not wonder what comes next. Because nothing is waiting at the end of this path. There is no destination, no place to reach, only this quiet moment. This soft presence of it continuous with needing to change. And that realization feels calming, like something has been gently lifted. The need to move forward, the need to arrive, the need to figure anything out, all of it softens and fades, leaving only this steady, unchanging calm. You notice another small detail, how the path does not pull you forward. It does not guide you. It does not ask you to follow. It simply exists open, quiet, and that openness feels like rest. A space where nothing is expected. A space where you can simply remain. Your body continues to soften. Your shoulders loose. Your hands resting easily. Your breathing steady, and with each breath, everything feels a little more settled, a little more still, as if the quiet itself is gently holding you in place, and somewhere within that calm, that same small familiar feeling returns. Soft, barely noticeable, like something that has been with you throughout the night. But now, it feels lighter, less defined, as if it belongs to the distance behind you. Not something to follow, just something that has already passed, and you let it remain there without turning toward it. Your thoughts remain quiet, appearing only faintly, and fading almost immediately, as if they know they are no longer needed. This path is not for thinking. It is for resting, and you remain within it. Not moving, not searching, just being, just breathing, just allowing, and as you do, the path itself begins to soften, not disappearing, just blending into the calm around you, like everything else, becoming part of the stillness. Until it is no longer something separate from you, but something you feel within you, a quiet sense of ease, a gentle continuity that does not need to go anywhere. And you remain here, steady, calm, at ease, with nothing to reach, nothing to follow, nothing to become. Only this soft presence, this quiet path that does not lead, but simply holds you in its calm as the night continues to deepen, and you drift a little further, not forward, not backward, just inward, into this quiet, peaceful rest, where even the idea of a path no longer matters. Only the calm it leaves behind, softly, gently. Within you, the quiet continues, unchanged, steady in a way that feels familiar now, like something you no longer need to notice or feel. And within that calm, a gentle pattern begins to reveal itself. Not something new, not something different, just something that has been there all along, repeating softly again and again. You notice it in the simplest way. You're breathing in and out, steady, unchanging, like a quiet rhythm that never asks anything from you. And as you follow it, without trying, you begin to feel how comforting that repetition is, how it creates a sense of ease, a sense of knowing what comes next without needing to think about it. And that knowing feels calm, safe, like something you can rest within. You might notice the other small repetitions too. Asterisk the stillness of the room. Unchanged, the quiet air, resting gently around you. The soft presence of the night. Continue without interruption. Everything following the same gentle pattern. Nothing sudden, nothing unexpected. Just a quiet flow that remains steady. And you begin to settle even deeper into it. Your body relaxing a little more. Your shoulders loosening. Your hands resting without awareness. And your breathing conching its soft rhythm, in and out. Each breath like a gentle wave that rises, then falls, and returns again. Never rushed, never forced, just steady. And within that repetition, your thoughts grow quieter still, appearing less often. And when they do, they follow the same pattern, arriving softly, then fading, without needing to stay. You don't follow them, you don't hold them. You simply notice how they come and go like everything else tonight. Repeating, softening, drifting, and in that gentle rhythm, your mind begins to rest between those moments, in the space that grow longer and softer. Those spaces feel different now, more open, more calm, like they are gently expanding to hold you, to give you room to simply be, without thought, without effort. Just existing within the quiet, you might notice how comforting it feels to not expect anything new, to not wait for something to change, to simply allow this repetition to continue, because it does not demand, it does not surprise. It simply remains steady, reliable, and that really feels like rest. Deep, simple rest. Your breathing continues. In and out, like a gentle anchor holding you in this moment. And with each breath, everything settles a little more. Your body, your thoughts, even the sense of time, all moving in that same quiet rhythm until there is nothing left to follow. Nothing left to notice clearly, only this soft repetition, this gentle pattern that surrounds you and carries you without effort. And somewhere within that calm, that small, familiar feeling returns once more, but now it feels different. Not something separate, not something to notice, just part of the rhythm woven into it, blending gently with everything else, until it no longer stands apart at all, and you remain here, steady, calm, at ease, held within this quiet pattern, this soft repetition that asks nothing from you. That gives you space to simply rest, and as the night deepens, that repetition continues unchanged, unbroken, like something that will remain as long as you need it, and you allow yourself to drift with it, not forward, not backward, just deeper into the calm, deeper into the stillness, where every repeated moment feels like a gentle step toward rest, and you follow without effort, without thought, just allowing, just breathing, just being as everything continues, again and again and again, until even that repetition becks softer, quieter, and fades gently into something that feels like sleep. By now, the quiet feels complete, not something that is growing, but something that has already settled into place. And within that calm, you begin to notice a gentle shift, something small, something easy to miss. The way your mind no longer reaches for answers, not in the way it used to, not with the same quiet urgency that once returned again and again. Those small questions, the ones that would appear without warning, asking to be followed, asking to be understood, they are still there, but they feel different now. Lighter, less certain, as if they are unsure whether they need to stay at all. You notice one of them, a simple wondering, something unfinished, something you might have thought about earlier in the day. It comes forward gently, without force, without demand, and for a moment you simply see it as it is, a question, without weight, without urgency, and something begins to change quietly, naturally. The need to understand it starts to soften, like a thread loosening its hold. You don't push it away. You don't answer it. You simply allow it to be there. And in that allowing, it begins to fade, not disappearing suddenly, just becoming lighter, less defined, until it is no longer something you feel the need to follow. Another question appears, just as softly. Another small wondering, but it too does not stay for long. It lingers, then softens, then drifts away. And you begin to notice a quiet pattern. How these questions no longer hold you, how they no longer ask for your attention. They come and they go without leaving anything behind. Your breathing continues, in and out, slow, steady. Each breath creating more space between you and those thoughts. And in that space, there is rest, simple, uncomplicated rest. You realize you don't need to understand everything. You don't need to solve every small thought that appears. Some things are allowed to remain unfinished. Some things are allowed to pass without meaning. And that realization, it feels light, free, like something has been gently lifted from your mind. Your body responds to it, settling deeper, your shoulders loose, your hands still, your breathing soft and even. And with each breath, those small questions moan quieter still, until they are barely there at all, just faint impressions in the distance. And even those begin to fade, not because you are trying, but because they no longer need to remain. You might notice how peaceful it feels to let things be unclear, to not search for answers, to not hold on to thoughts, to simply allow everything to pass as it is. Like soft leaves drifting gently through still air, never stopping, never needing to stay. And you remain here, steady, calm, at ease, watching without following, allowing without holding. And that same small, familiar feeling the one that has been with you since the beginning of the night, is now barely noticeable, so soft, so distant, that it feels like it belongs to another time. Not this moment. This moment is quieter, simpler, free from the need to understand anything at all. Your thoughts have slowed to a near stillness, appearing only faintly and fading almost immediately, as if your mind has found its rest, a place where nothing is required, where nothing needs to be answered. Only this calm remains, this quiet ease, this gentle stillness that holds you without asking anything in return. And you allow yourself to drift a little deeper, carried by the absence of all those small questions, into a space where everything feels lighter, where everything rests, and where your mind no longer needs to reach for anything at all, only to settle softly, naturally into this quiet, peaceful rest. The night has settled fully now, not just around you, but within you. Like everything has gently come to rest exactly where it belongs. And in that stillness, you begin to notice a soft, quiet weight. Not heavy in a way that pulls you down, but gentle, supportive. Like something is holding you without effort. You feel it first in the simplest places, your eyes, resting more easily now. No need to stay open, no need to close, just soft. Your shoulders loose, settled, as if they have let go of something they no longer need to carry. Your hands still quiet, resting without thought, and your breathing slow, even in and out, each breath arriving softly, asterisk leaving gently, like a quiet rhythm that continues on its own. You don't guide it, you don't follow it. It simply happens, and with each breath, that gentle weight spreads a little further. Not quickly, not all at once, just slowly. Like a soft blanket bind placed over you layer by layer. Warm, calm, comforting. You notice how easy it feels to sink into it. To stop holding yourself up. To stop keeping yourself aware. Because there is nothing left that needs your attention. Nothing waiting, nothing asking, only this quiet moment. This calm presenteth that surrounds you and holds you gently. Maybe you have felt this before, that moment just before sleep, when your body begins to rest without you asking it to, when everything slows just in auto, feel effortless. And tonight, that moment has arrived, softly, naturally, without any effort from you. You notice how your thoughts have become even quieter now, less frequent, less clear, like distant echoes that no longer reach you fully. They appear, but they don't stay. They pass through without leaving anything behind. And between them, there is more space, more stillness, more rest. Your breathing deepens slightly, not forced, just natural, as if your body has found its own quiet rhythm and no longer needs your guidance. And with each breath, that gentle weight settles a little deeper, holding you softly in place, not restricting you, not trapping you, just supporting you, like something that knows exactly how to carry you into rest. You might notice how the room feels now, even softer, even quieter, as if everything around you has adjusted to match this calm. The light feels dimmer, the air feels warmer, the space feels more still, like the entire world has stepped back to give you this moment. And in that space, you feel safe, completely at ease. There is nothing to think about, nothing to hold on to, nothing to return to. Only this gentle drifting, this soft, steady movement toward sleep, and that same small, familiar feeling, the one that followed you throughout the night, is barely there now, so faint, so distant, that it feels like it belongs to another place entirely, and you let it go without effort, without thought. It simply fades. As everything else has, your body feels heavier now, but in a way that feels right, in a way that feels comforting, like you are being held by the quiet itself. Your arms, your legs, your entire body resting completely without effort, without awareness, just existing in this calm state. Your breathing continues in and out, slow, even, like a gentle rhythm that carries you further with each passing moment. And as you remain here, you might notice how easy it would be to close your eyes, or how natural it feels to keep them closed. There is no difference now. No need to choose, only this soft, continuous drifting. And as the night deepens further, everything becomes quieter still. Your thoughts, your body, the space around you, all settling into the same peaceful stillness, until there is almost nothing left to notice, nothing left to follow, only this gentle weight. This calm presence that holds you without asking anything in return, and you allow yourself to drift a little further, not by effort, not by intention, but simply by allowing the heaviness to remain, allowing the quiet to deepen, allowing yourself to rest completely as the night carries you softly, gently towards sleep. Now, the quiet feels complete, not something that is changing, not something that is growing, just something that is fully there. Soft, steady, unchanging, your breathing continues. In and out, slow, even, like a gentle rhythm that carries you further with each passing moment. And as you remain here, you might notice how easy it would be to close your eyes, or how natural it feels to keep them closed. There is no difference now. No need to choose, only this soft, continuous drifting. And as the night deepens further, everything becomes quieter still. Your thoughts, your body, the space around you, all settling into the same peaceful stillness, until there is almost nothing left to notice, nothing left to follow, only this gentle weight. This calm presence that holds you without asking anything in return, and you allow yourself to drift a little further, not by effort, not by intention, but simply by allowing the heaviness to remain, allowing the quiet to deepen, allowing yourself to rest completely as the night carries you softly, gently towards sleep. Now, the quiet feels complete, not something that is changing, not something that is growing, just something that is fully there. Soft, steady, unchanging, your breathing continues. In and out, slow, even, like a gentle rhythm that no longer needs your attention. Your body rests completely. No tension, no movement. Just stillness, deep, comfortable, as if everything has found its place. And in that calm, one final thought appears. Not suddenly, not clearly, just softly. Like a small ripple in a still, quiet space, you notice it gently, without effort, without curiosity. It doesn't pull you. It doesn't ask anything from you. It simply exists, light, quiet, and somehow familiar, like something you have known without ever needing to understand. Maybe you have felt this before, that last quiet thought before sleep, the one that comes when everything else has already settled. And it feels different, not like the thoughts from earlier, not like the questions that once returned. This one feels complete, even without meaning. You don't try to follow it. You don't try to hold it. You simply allow it to be there for just a moment, and as you do, it begins to change. Softly, naturally, its edges blur. Its presence fades until it feels less like a thought and more like a feeling, a quiet trace of something that is already passing. And then, just as gently, it begins to drift away, not pushed, not removed, just released. Like everything else tonight, and you remain here, steady, calm, at ease, not following, not wondering, just resting. As that final thought fades into the quiet, your breathing deepens slightly, slow, even, each breath blending into the next, until it feels like part of the stillness itself. Your body feels heavier now, but in a way that feels right, in a way that supports you, that holds you gently in place, your arms, your legs, your entire body, resting completely, without effort, without awareness, and around you, everything feels still. The room, the air, the quiet beyond, all settled into the same peaceful calm. Nothing moving, nothing changing, only this soft, endless stillness. And within that stillness, there are no more thoughts waiting to appear, no more questions waiting to be asked, only this gentle quiet, this calm presence that holds you out without asking anything in return. You might notice how easy it feels to let go completely, to stop following anything at all, to simply remaining this quiet rest. Your mind no longer reaching, your body no longer holding. Everything at ease, everything at peace. And that last quiet thought, it has faded now, not suddenly, not completely, just softly, until it is no longer something you can notice at all, only something that has already passed, and you remain here, not thinking, not wondering, just resting. Carried gently be the calm that surrounds you. Your breathing continues, in and out, slow, even, like a quiet rhythm that has no beginning and no end. And as the night deepens further, everything becomes softer still, until there is almost nothing left to notice, nothing left to follow, only this gentle, peaceful quiet. And you allow yourself to drift a little further, not by effort, not by intention, but simply by allowing the stillness to hold you, allowing the quieto carry you, allowing everything to settle completely as the last traces of thought fade into the distance, and you remain calm, still, at rest on the edge of sleep, where nothing remains but softness and quiet, and the gentle rhythm of rest. Now. There is nothing left to follow, nothing left to notice clearly. The quiet has settled completely, soft, steady, unchanging. Your breathing continues, In and out, slow, even. So gentle now that it feels like part of the silence itself. Not separate from it, your body rests fully. No movement, no tension, just stillness, deep, comfortable. As if you have been here for a long time, and there is nowhere else you need to be. No thought remains to be followed. No question remains to be answered. Only this calm. This quiet presenteth that holds you without effort. And in that calm, your mind begins to rest, not suddenly, not all at once, just gently, like some things into stillness. You don't notice the moment it begins, because there is no moment. Only a soft continuation of everything that came before. Your breathing slows further, in and out, longer now, softer. Each breath carrying you a little deeper into rest, and your body follows, settling more completely with each passing moment, as if the surface beneath you gently holding you, supporting you without needing anything in return. You don't need to adjust. You don't need to move. Everything is already as it should be. And that feeling, it remains steady, unchanging. Like a quiet presence that stays with you as you drift further and further. The world beyond Yahoo has faded now, not disappeared, just become distant, unimportant. There are no sounds that reach you clearly, no movement that asks for your attention, only this deep, soft stillness, and you are part of it. Not separate, not observing, just within it, resting completely. Your breathing continues, in and out, slower now, softer still, until even that rhythm feels like it belongs to something deeper, something quieter, and you follow it, without knowing you are following, without needing to think, just drifting gently into rest. Your body feels light now, and heavy at the same time. Held, supported, completely at ease, as if nothing could disturb this calm, and nothing needs to, because there is nothing left to disturb. Only rest, only stillness, only this soft, endless quiet. And as you continue to drift, everything becomes even softer, even quieter, until there is no difference between you and the calm around you. No edges, no boundaries, only this gentle presence. This peaceful state that carries you without effort, and somewhere, without needing to notice, sleep begins to take you, not suddenly, not all at once, just slowly. Like the quiet has deepened edges in auto, hold you completely. Your breathing continues, soft, even, steady, and then even softer still, until it fades into something you no longer follow. Your body rests without awareness, without movement, completely still, completely at ease, and in that stillness, your mind rests fully, no thoughts, no questions. No awareness of anything that came before, only this deep, peaceful rest. As the night continues quietly around you, holding everything in its calm embrace, and you remain there, not thinking, not noticing, only resting completely, softly, at peace. Asleep, good night. Take care.